People of Reddit, what terrible path in life no one should ever take. Serious. Stay with an abusive person in any kind of relationship. This. No matter how much you think you can change them or get them to see that they're hurting you, it's not going to work. They understand what they are doing and don't care. The only people getting hurt are you and the people who care about you. A relationship for the sake of having a relationship. Or getting married because you want to be married. Or getting married / having a kid because you think it will fix your currently rocky relationship. My mom has been divorced with my dad since I was 2 and hasn't been married since. Unfortunately, she just gets into a relationship as soon as she can with anyone for the sake of just wanting to be with someone. I understand that she doesn't want to be lonely, but seriously, she is terrible at dating. I've actually learned a thing or two from her because I notice things she did wrong, like only do stuff she wanted to do and never do stuff he wanted to. She tried to get married to one of her boyfriends that she had only known for 3 months on Leap Day, which is fine and all, but it actually isn't because she wanted to do the same with her boyfriend before that, meaning that she wanted to get married and she didn't care to whom. She also tries to get a new boyfriend as soon as she can after breaking up with the last one, but still hasn't let go of the last one. It's honestly sad, and I know it's because she doesn't want to be lonely, and I want to help her, but she probably wouldn't listen and would mock me. I mean, what would a dumb, unobservant teenager know? Yes, this, and staying in a relationship because relationships take work. Yes, it's true, you do need to make an effort to have a good relationship with your significant other. But not at the sake of your own safety, sanity, or self-worth. I was raised with that mindset and stayed in a relationship with an insecure, emotionally abusive asshole for 2 years because relationships take work. Finally realized this jerk will never change and I will spend my life in misery if I stay. Love yourself first and know your worth. Neglecting your own health. Used to think I'm damn near invincible because I'm still young. Worked about 70 hours a week just for that damn raise. Neglected health checkups just because I can. Got diagnosed with glaucoma and my left eye is quite ducked up. Not sure what the future holds for me, but I'm damn sure taking care of my body now. Don't self-medicate with booze and or drugs, the former being my problem for years. Find out the reason why you want to self-medicate in the first place and get the appropriate help / guidance. Also, don't self-medicate with food. Nicotine addiction. It's really hard to quit. I haven't smoked in years and I get cravings now and then. I can't imagine how hard it would be if I had been a regular smoker. Meth. Heroin also springs to mind. Remember that Reddit user that bought some on a whim, did an AMA about the experience and then ended up going through years of addiction hell, dying from an odd, then being revived and finally getting clean. Picking a career path to fulfill your parents' dream. It almost ruined my self-identity. Currently I am doing a course I like at a university of my choice. I might have destroyed my relationship with my mother, but for the sake of my own sanity it was worth it. My brother's girlfriend wanted to go to school for nursing. Her parents told her not to do that because then her only option would be to be a nurse. She spent 4 years getting her bachelor's in something else, then ended up having to spend 2 years at community college to get her associates in nursing, which is what she wanted in the first place. Waste of so much time and money. Not the worst, but procrastination. It becomes a habit really fast, from my experience. I'll start exercising tomorrow. I'll clean up later. I started saying these things years ago and only recently started running again. Edit, I used to be able to do 300 sit-ups almost every day. Now, I can barely 35, but that's progress from when I could only do 10. People pleasing. As a wise man once said, you can't make everyone happy, you're not pizza. Never take the path of I know better than everyone else. Even the absolute dumbest person can teach you something. Same goes for a person a lot younger than you or someone you can't respect. Always be willing to learn and grow. Living on other people's opinions. A life of asking questions without making an effort to find out. Does he secretly hate me? Will she be disgusted if I asked her out? Would I be wasting my time if I studied to be a professional ice cream maker? Will I be happy if I leave him? Is this lump going to be a problem? Etc. Worse still, some people make up their own pessimistic, dismissive answers. Of course he hates me, I'm a piece of shit. Of course she won't go out with me, she probably likes that asshole Chad. Of course I'll never make money making custom ice cream, that's a stupid dream. Of course I'm not going to be happy, he beats me, but who else is going to love me? This lump is probably nothing, and if it is cancer I don't want to confirm it. Have a question? Find out the answer. Not treating your depression from the start with a professional and trying to overcome it alone. 6 years later down the road, diagnosed with severe depression and anhedonia. Currently on medication. Life changed drastically, it is like taking off a pair of grey and dark glasses. Mental health is no joke and should be a priority in everyone's life. Edit, there's a lot of comments that I can't get through in time. Trying to reply to everybody. Thank you for the awards, kind strangers. Depression is a sadistic beast. So happy to hear your life has changed for the better. Marrying for money. My mom lives around a sea of housewives who all want to leave their husbands but can't because they've never had a career and wouldn't be able to survive on their own financially. Don't make major decisions, marriage, moving together, having kids, sharing finances, etc., about a relationship during the honeymoon stage. That could be an indicator of compatibility but not a certainty. If you want to think of the honeymoon stage, think of it like this: a spark can start a fire, but a spark is not the fire. Brush your teeth. Can't begin to understand why I let mine rot. But while dentures may be easier to look after, they will never be as comfortable or as functional as my original set. Taking the road that's expected of you, marriage, kids, career, etc., without contemplating if it's the right thing for you. Living a life guided by what you see on social media. Social comparison, especially upward social comparison, is something we all do, and at times it can be a positive, motivational force for us to better our lives to match those of others, or it can be a negative one that make us feel shittier about ourselves. The thing about social media, however, is that it plays into the negatives of social comparison, as people, whether our friends, family, or celebrities, tend to only share the highlights of their lives on social media, whether it's a vacation at an exotic location, an accomplishment such as graduation, and in general just the nicer parts of life. This leads to an unrealistic perception that other people's lives are all sunshine and rainbows, in comparison to our own dull lives, when viewed from the lens of social media. The fact is that, life for everyone isn't actually as interesting as we think it is, but yet our warped view of it becomes an unattainable benchmark that some would fall into the trap of setting for themselves. We come to be deceived into believing that if our lives aren't all hunky-dory, then we are failing at life. Intrinsically, it may make us less content with our own lives, less grateful for what we have, bitter even. Extrinsically, we may end up doing a lot of unnecessary things to delude others, and ourselves, that our lives are just as great, overcompensating by doing things that we aren't actually intrinsically happy doing, but just for the sake of embellishing our lives for the gram. After all, if we're comparing our lives to others, on social media, they'd be comparing theirs to ours too, right? Well, I better look damn good for it then. When in reality, most people don't care much about how you live your life, they're too busy with theirs. I'm rambling, but I guess I feel so strongly about this because it's something that I've only recently woken up to, and I've been a lot happier since. Just living a down-to-earth life in the present, in the real world, is a lot more satisfying in the long run. But I guess social media provides a quicker gratification that unfortunately easily turns into an unhealthy fixation. Not giving a shit about school. One should consider him/herself lucky that they get to attend school and get an opportunity for a higher education. I know many people that either couldn't afford to go to school or didn't care, and their lives aren't what they thought they would be. Those shady friends you hang out with in your mid to late teens who you feel really understand you and got your back, Yeah, move on to better things. Owning so many big, shiny things like a large house and 2 nice cars, that you have no choice but to toil away at your high-paying, but time-consuming job, which you may not like, at least not for the rest of your career. Yet, you lay awake at night, scared that you might get fired from a job you hate, so you can't pay for the big, shiny things you've started to believe one cannot live without. Disclaimer. I am not and was never in the army, or an American citizen. But I know a thing or two. Not easy. Not bad. You can do 4 years and get out and have a free education, or stay in for 20 and get a pension. Please try to choose a real Marine job beyond recon or artillery or marksman or your regular jarhead with an M16. And no EOD, my childhood dream was to become an EOD for my country. Be a water technician, auto mechanic, computer guy, cybersecurity guy, logistics, some bog job. What's your ASVAB score? Take a practice ASVAB online. If you're not a moron, you should be set with a nice job that'll later come in handy in the civilian world. You'll work in an office back in the base. Don't dream about being a combat grunt. The Army, Air Force, Navy is a huge massive machine made up of regular dudes that stay in base and keep everything running. I sense that you're young. 16, 18? Your mind and soul might get molded into a warrior's mind and soul. If such a soul leaves the service, you will have a tough time among the regular civilian people who'll have different minds and souls. Businessman, handyman, friendly neighborhood mom, good dad, good mom, merchant. I would suggest you don't go into the Army, Marines, until you're 22. Get a regular job at 18 and live life for a bit. Get invited to college parties, help your parents with rent, cooking and groceries, duck a few girls. Have a bit of fun. It is not a crime to be lost until you're 25. Don't rush into college or the Army. And when your soul is a bit formed up, then give the Army a try. If your family is ducked up, leave the mishap and join the Army. One last thing, if you go in, the government will pay for your food and place to live, and you'll get $35,000 a year, at least, every year. Save as much ducking money as you can and do not buy a car. You are not to spend above $2,000 per year. You can buy an Xbox, but not a car. This is your retirement fund. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you tomorrow.